Yo, angling addicts, welcome to another episode. So today we are not out on the water, but we are going to be doing something different. We are going to be reviewing the Stradic FK. Yeah, look at that. I hope you guys can see. Get this. Okay, so starting at the top. First of all, some of the features on this reel is the Hagani gear. Hagani body, X-ship, the ARB bearings, Aero Wrap 2, aluminium cold forged spool, and a line propulsion, line propulsion management system. So what that basically means is that it helps you cast further. And just looking at some of the other specs, if you're looking, it can hold, I primarily fish with braided line. I don't use mono. I haven't used mono in maybe 10-15 years. I prefer braided, and I generally try to use the thinnest breaking strength as possible. Me personally, I fish with 20 pound. I don't see a need for anything more than that for inshore, saltwater, casting from the beach, or even freshwater, to be honest. But if you're like me, starting off looking at the line capacity on this reel holds 220 yards of 20 pound Power Pro, 200 yards of 30 pound, and 160 yards of 40 pound. That's one of the reasons that I picked this reel. It's because it held a decent amount of the 20 pound braid that I use. Also looking at the bearings, it's a 6.1 bearings. This is a high-speed reel. It's 6.2 to 1, 41 inches per crank. Another reason that I picked, or my reasons for picking the Stradic is lightweight. Sometimes you're out there fishing for hours on a stretch. You've got a 10-foot rod or a 9-foot rod. You have a heavy reel on there, and it starts to get uncomfortable. So a small reel like this, it really goes a long way. This reel weighs only 11.3 ounces, which is pretty comfortable to fish with all day. It has 20 pounds of drag, which is, in my opinion, more than enough for most fish that you would encounter or catch freshwater, inshore, even casting from the beach. And last thing is the price. You're looking at paying roughly around $200 to $220 on this. But the great thing now is because they've just recently released the FL, Tackle Direct has these on sale for $169. So if you guys want to, save some cash, now's the time to buy an FK. Or you can pay $220 and get a brand new FL. All right. So let's get into some of the pros and cons of these reels. And once again, guys, these pros and cons, they're based completely on the way I fish. I'm primarily a surf fisherman. We fish a lot off the beach, a lot of jetties and rocks and things like that. We do some inshore fishing every now and then, hardly ever any freshwater fishing. But based on my requirements, these are the pros and cons that I feel that I need to talk about. The first thing is, as I mentioned earlier, it's light. For a 5,000 size reel, 11 odd ounces, it's hardly anything. The second thing is it's got a good drag, 20 pounds of drag. I had mine upgraded with Carbon Tech's drag washers. You could get them off eBay. I think they were like $10 or $12 without shipping. And in my opinion, that's like a great upgrade, especially given that it doesn't cost that much to upgrade the drag, and that would really help in case you encounter a big fish or something like that. The other thing is, Shimano's are known to be smooth, very smooth, and the Stradic is no different. It's super smooth. I would say it's one of the smoothest reels out there. You spin this thing, it'll go on forever. And the other cool thing that I really like about the Stradic is the power handle. I love this, egg-shaped rubbery grip, and it's, I don't know exactly what material it is. It feels like rubber, but I'm sure it has some fancy name for it. But the cool thing about this is one thing is that it gives you a solid grip, and the other thing is it does not slip when your hands are wet, or your hands can have bait on them, can have shrimp, whatever. You grab this, it's solid. I really like that. So for me, I think those 4 things I would say is what I really like about this reel. So moving on to the cons, the negatives. Seriously, I can only think of 2. One is after using the reel for a while, short while, I wouldn't even say that long, I would say maybe about 4 months or 6 months, it developed this horrible handle wobble. I don't know if you guys can see this on that, but it's got this, it's not even the anti-reverse, it's just a wobble on the shaft. So you can see the whole shaft moving this way, and I took the handle off and had a look at the sleeve or whatever here that has the bearing, and the place seems to have developed from there. I don't know, I have not taken it out. I don't know if there's anything wrong inside. But also I noticed that this handle wobble developed after I used a couple of times on the surf where we were using really heavy lead, maybe 3 ounce or 4 ounce, and sometimes when you're reeling that in, when you're reeling the weight in, you need it in fast, and you're really putting some torque on these, torque on the handle. And I found that after that, those couple of sessions, that's when this wobble this wobble developed. And right now I'm not fishing this reel because every time I use it, this wobble, it drives me crazy. I mean, you can feel it when you're reeling it just goes tuck 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 tuck, and it just drives me nuts. So I need to get that fixed. I don't really know how to get that fixed. Maybe I should speak to a Shimano dealer or something and see if they can do something about it. But yeah, till I get this thing fixed, the wobble fixed, I don't think I'll be using it again. Okay, another thing that that developed after using the reel is that, I don't know if you guys can see this. There is, like right here, the bail arm it's got another wobble in it. Now, I tried tightening the screw here, the top screw here, but it didn't really make a difference. And you can kind of see, you can see it. I don't know if, I hope you guys can see it. Can you see that? Yeah. So I don't know for what could have caused it, what I could have done differently. I don't think that anything I did caused this thing to wobble, but yeah, it is what it is. Okay, so in conclusion, would I recommend the Stradic? Yes and no. If you are primarily a guy who fishes freshwater or inshore, and most of the time you're using stuff like lures and stuff like that, yeah, I would say this is a great reel for the price, especially now that it's on discount at $169. There's not a lot out there that can beat this reel. So if that's the kind of fishing that you do, I would really recommend this reel. But if you're like me, where you do fish mostly off jetties, mostly off beaches, and you use heavy lead with bait, I would not recommend this reel at all. I would probably advise you to look at something a bit more sturdier, maybe a pen or any other reel that has some sort of sealing and things like that, because these reels cannot be submerged. They cannot, I mean, they can take a light splash, but I mean, God forbid you fall off a rock and drop your reel in the ocean. That's it. You're going to have to come home and strip this thing out and completely clean it out. Alright guys, I hope you enjoyed the review. I tried not to make it too long. I tried to include all the important details. I just tried to give you guys the story straight up, and I hope that the information in this video has been useful. And please guys, don't forget to like the video and subscribe below. If you have any comments, if you have any suggestions, please leave them in the comments below. We would love to hear from you. And yep, thank you again. See you.